although nobody's in here right now, people going to bed early tonight. And also, what's up to those watching the VOD after work? My name is Oth. Welcome to the Strats Weekly for the week of 1 March 2021. How's everybody doing today? Presumably well, I hope so. I know we've got a few people who were up incredibly early. Braden was planning to be here, but he got up at dark 30 this morning because he deals in different time zones and he needed to get some sleeps, and I don't judge him for that at all. I have been there. He is an hour ahead of me already, and I can't imagine what dark 30 and being an hour ahead of me would be like in terms of sleep deprivation. So, Braden, get some good Z's. If you come in here, I'm going to be mad at you. I hope you watch this VOD so you know that I'm mad at you if you come back in here. Right, what do we got to talk about today? Boom, let's talk some games real fast, and then we'll figure out whether this is going to be a Strats Weekly abridged or a full Strats Weekly. There we go. Right, World of Warcraft Shadowlands. If you are into World of Warcraft Shadowlands, we got some peeps playing. Actually, Nightlife just posted the other day. Yeah, in the top 99% highest DPS for Castle Nathria. Castle Nathria. I'm not playing Shadowlands, so I don't know them all super well. But yeah, we got some people playing hard. If you are interested in World of Warcraft content and you're looking for a group to play with, our guild has linked up with another guild to run push raids and run keys. Nightlife is ahead of that initiative. If you are looking for any of that, go ahead and hit him up in the Blizzards channel. Just send him a ping. He'll get you all the deets on that. So if you are somebody looking for a WoW home, or if you're just looking to consume some WoW content, Facebook.com/StratsCo is where he usually streams at. He streams Bear Tank, I believe, for the raids, and I'm not sure what else he's doing right now. I know he's on an alt, pushing an alt at this point in keys, but I'm not sure what he is playing. But if that's content that you're interested in consuming, we've got that over on our Facebook page. Other games. Ah, yes, I left this in here still. Like I said last week, World of Warcraft, or Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr. For the most part, Cabal is spun down. There's still a few people playing in this season, but a lot of us have already done what we wanted to do. No sense in continuing to push at this point for some of us. My character is maxed out in near perfect gear. There's small micro optimizations I can make, but I don't have any interest in trying to be one of those kids that's pushing like plus 28 content. It's just not my thing. I can happily smash sub 99s, and that's good enough for me. So the devs are still hunting this nasty bug. If you are still playing, or if you played previously and you're on a break right now, I beseech you, please, if you used to get the free ID error, log back in with your account, like log in whatever character was getting it, see if you're still getting it, because if you're still getting it, the devs would love to have that information on the Discord so they can continue to try and track this bug down. They've pushed out 2 hotfixes specifically to address this bug, and it's been around since the Season 2 beta, apparently. They're trying very, very hard to get this addressed. And the last thing we want is this to continue to be a problem moving into Season 3, and who knows what other sorts of malarkey it might cause with whatever the new season mechanics will be whenever that happens. So, I beseech you, if you've got an account, if you've played previously, if you've had this bug before, please do the devs a favor, do the rest of us a favor too, those of us that want to play Season 3, and not have this bug still be around. Log in real quick, run a couple missions, see if it replicates still. If you're still getting it, let them know what your build is, let them know what your gear is, take a couple screenshots, dump them in the tech support channel on the Discord. They would appreciate it. The rest of the player base, when the bug finally gets squashed for good, would also really appreciate it. So if you could do that, pretty please, it would help a lot. I have done my due diligence. I have already gone in and double checked. I can still replicate with my build, so hopefully they will fix it. Hopefully my information is in any way helpful. I'm not certain. I had a couple PMs with one of the devs about that. Fingers crossed. What else we got? Valheim. If you're playing Valheim, if you're looking for a group to hang out with, if you enjoy the multiplayer aspect of Valheim rather than just the solo survival experience, we do have an official Strats server. In fact, Valheim's been such a chatterbox recently. We actually spun up an official Valheim text channel for the guys to talk about all the various what have yous that are going on the Strats server. The Weedums, a good man Weedums, is footing the bill for that for us. Bless you, Weedums. We appreciate it. If you are interested in checking out Valheim, or if you just have some questions, Weedums, Zarek, Lightforce, those guys, they'd love to talk to you about it. They'd love to talk you into playing it, is what it boils down to. But they'd be happy to field any questions you might have about the game. And then, of course, if you're looking for a group of people that are like decent and chill and want to like play with, hit them up. They would love the company. I don't know how much boss downs or how many bosses they've downed so far. I know they've been working their way through them, and I don't know a whole lot about the game. Personally, I'm not playing it, but I do know that they are pushing the content and having a blast. So if Valheim is your thing, hit us up. And just feel free in the Valheim channel, ping either Lightforce or Zarek or Weedums. They can get you the down low. What else we got? EVE Online. Oh man. Okay, so politics and EVE Online move way faster than somebody like me who's not playing can keep track with. We're in some alliance. I don't know what alliance. I don't know if it's our first or our fifth alliance, because I feel like every time I poke my head in the voice channel or skim through the text channel, there's just heaps of new information and a ton that I don't understand because I'm not playing. But as you can see, even right now, a whole bunch of people still in here playing. They've started breaking down the channels to get a little bit more security on the ops and stuff like that. So depending on what rank you are within the fleet, you have access to the different text channels. But yeah, so they are pushing all kinds of content. We're wormholing right now. If you are interested in wormholing specifically, that's a big thing that they're doing. We do moon mining runs, I know. What other events do they have scheduled right now? Yeah, we've got moon mining scheduled, and then non-moon mining. So you got a couple of mining events scheduled for later this week, and then I know they're currently like right now actively wormholing. So if those are things that you are interested in, or if you're just looking for a chill group of people to play with, maybe knock the dust off your account. That's what a bunch of the guys here did. Vicino, for example, is an old Goon Squad. I know, don't hate him. He's old Goon Squad player from way back in the day. He knocked the dust off of his account. Taco, same thing. Used to play way back in the day at release, and has since knocked the dust off. And we've got several people who are newer players as well, who didn't play previously, that are learning the ropes alongside the salty vets that are figuring out how all the new updates and such work. So if that is something that you are interested in, if it's a game you've been interested in the past, by all means, swing by, ask some questions. If you're looking for a new core to call home, hit up Taco, or who else is doing recruitment besides Taco? Let me see if I can find it real fast. Seamus would be another one to talk to, and Vicino obviously is always a good person to talk to. If you happen to be East Coast and you play earlier in the day, hit up Sinish. He's an incredibly active East Coast player, but he is very East Coast hours. Meanwhile, we've got people. We're already almost international at this point. There's almost always somebody logged on. We have people that play late into the PST time, as well as people that are playing earlier in the EST time. So anywhere in there that you fall in the NA time zone, for sure, we've always got people on, and I see people in here pretty regularly, even outside of those time zones. So like I said, if you're looking for a core to call home, come check it out, see if we're the right fit for you. Taco, Vicino, or Seamus, either or any of those three could give you the details, or Sinish if you catch Sinish on in the morning, or not mornings, but earlier in the afternoons. What else we got? PoE, Echoes of the Atlas, yeah. Path of Exile still going. Most of the people are starting to spin down a little bit. There's a few. I know Cat Poop is still pushing. He's 96 or 7 at this point. I don't know if he's going to bother trying to push all the way to 100. He's still playing. Galbator is still playing. Alundrill's still playing. Still got a handful of people. Taco still has an alt, or a like 10th character. He makes like 10 characters before he decides which one he wants to actually play. We still have a handful of people playing, is the point I'm getting at. But not super hardcore anymore. I mean, it has been going on for quite some time. But if you have any questions, Toast is still playing, I know for a fact. Yeah, if you have any questions, oh yeah, Catpoop actually has been doing like his super high-end crafting. He's crafted multiple like Headhunter tier gear. What's up, Zarek? With the new harvest crafting system and what have you. If you are looking for some people to play PoE with, if that's a one of your main squeeze games, and you just want some company, or you want to just bounce build ideas around with folks and see what's good. Cat Poop loves talking theorycraft, so feel free to hit him up about that. We can also get you invited into the guild if that's something you want, whether you play solo or whether you are a support looking for somebody to run in front of you, or you're somebody who's looking for a support to run behind you. I don't know if we have anybody playing support this league, but we typically have at least one support as well. So by all means, come check out and see what's good. Zarek, how's your day going so far?
Pretty good, pretty good.
I like to hear it. Smashing through the rest of these games real fast, and then we'll just have us some chats. Oh yeah, Princess Connect, Redive. Ooh, damn, I didn't pull the thing up. For those who don't know, yes, we are definitely playing Princess Connect Redive. How can you not? It's a great game. I absolutely enjoyed it. It's one of the better gachas I've ever played, just in terms of like sure, whales are super dangerous, and even just like guppies are kind of a threat. But even even completely free to play, I've been able to be quite successful both in the story mode as well as the PvP. So we have, yes, okay, there we are. We're mid double drops for Grotto. We've got later this week the plus rate on Saren Pull is coming. We've also got 2x hard mode mission drops coming, which is super hype, and that's going to be happening alongside of the clan battle that starts on the 6th if you're in the States, 7th if you're going by UTC JST time. Clan Battle 2, we're excited. We placed 2,300 and something in the first clan battle. People were hype on it. I've been working my accounts. I'm playing 2 accounts right now, and the main account's in a lot better shape than the alt account, but they're both coming along pretty well. We got a lot of people pushing hard. It is going to be, I think we're going to be top 3K again, honestly. I don't think that we're going to do worse. We had several people who were relatively new leading into that first clan battle. They'd only been playing for like a week or so, and we still placed quite well. I don't know that we'll actually do well enough to place top 1,500. Like that'd be amazing because that's the next break point for the battle rewards for the clan. I don't know that we're gonna crack top 1,500, but I think we are still. I'm quite confident we can maintain top 3K again this time around. So yeah, double grotto drops are going off about the day that the double grotto drops end, and a day after the double hard mode mission drops start up is when the next clan battle is coming. And it looks like, oh, this data leak has been updated. We might have full rank 8 coming out on the 10th. I'll look into that before next week, and if that's the case, I will happily talk about it. If you are playing Princess Connect, by the way, don't forget the Hatsune event ends later this week before the clan battle starts. So if you have not finished pushing through the various pull rewards there, maybe it's time. Not quite time. You've got until the 5th stateside time. It might not quite be time to reset and just start pushing forward to make sure you get those memory shards instead of camping for the divines and such. But it might be time to start at least considering that as an option in the next day or two if you're only on like lineup 3 or 4. Well, if you're on 4, you're pretty okay. But if you're on line 2 or 3, you might need to either start farming 1-15 in the story mode, or I'm sorry, not story mode, the event story. Or you might need to just start resetting as soon as you pull the memory shards just to ensure you don't miss those big chunks of Shiori and especially the Hatsune memory shards. Those are super valuable, especially because in the relatively near future, later this month, we will have a plus pull rate on Hatsune. So, recommendation if you don't have Hatsune yet, don't, unless you just want her, which is, that's valid, I suppose. If you really want her and you can't wait, by all means, convert memory shards in for her. If you can wait, though, hold those memory shards. You might get lucky and pull her on the gacha that starts later this month, where she will have a plus up rate. But you want to make sure you've got those memory shards. So if you have not gotten the different pulls from that, and if you haven't downed your 30 bosses yet, total bosses, in order to get the mission rewards for the Shiori and Hatsune shards, be sure that you work on that this week because, like I said, you're not out of time yet, but it's over half over, and you're going to run out of time sooner than later if you don't focus up on that. And I think that's all the game chatter at the moment. So, Zarek, What have you been playing besides? I know you've been playing a lot of Valheim.
It's been pretty much just Valheim this past couple of weeks.
Okay, so talk me through what's the status of the Valheim server for Strats? Because I actually don't know because I'm not playing.
Uh,
I know there's bosses. I know stuff like that works. I don't know where we're at, like where the server is collectively.
so we started all in like one central zone, like one central area. We had a big base, blah blah, and then a couple of splintering happened. So there's like uh, two main big groups that splintered different ways, and they're building their own, I guess, satellite bases.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but so far, progression wise, Weedham's base is far ahead of the other base. I think I don't know if they fought the dragon boss yet, but we've downed at least three bosses. Just about everybody in the server has killed the first two. Only a few of us have killed the third one. But our base that I'm with, well, I go between the two, but we are working on getting all the frost stuff in the mountain. So I've been getting light fours and biggles kind of geared up with frost stuff, so we can go into the mountains and do that stuff. And then Mons is where that fourth boss is at, the dragon.
Gotcha. Are there only four bosses at the moment, or are there more beyond that even?
Uh, I've seen five. Well, there's so where you spawn, there's like a bunch of little, there's like a Stonehenge,
Mm-hmm.
and each rock has kind of like a picture of the bosses carved in them.
Okay.
So when you kill the boss, you get the trophy from the boss, and you hang it on that stone, and then
Of course.
that allows you to get power from that boss, or a power from that boss. So like the first boss gives you power for increased stamina, and so I've seen five boss pictures in that Stonehenge area. So I'm thinking there's five in the game so far.
I mean, that's not bad for the price point as an early release or an early access game. Like that's totally reasonable.
Oh yeah, no, for $20, I think it's $20.
Yeah, I
For
think it's
20 bucks,
25, but yeah, like
it's I mean definitely plenty of content. I think.
yeah, I was watching over. Precious picked it up this week or this last week. I was watching over her shoulder a little bit. It looks pretty good. Not gonna lie, looks. I mean, I didn't watch any streams of it, but like just watching like her play and seeing like having her talk me through a few things that were going on. I can see Phil messaged me, Phil Spaz, with a couple of frustrations that he had regarding the game design, but that's just kind of how his brain works since he is into like is actively in indie development.
Yeah,
So
right
there's
now he's big into their world building stuff. So
yeah, so there were some mechanics and things that he said, were nuisances, but they weren't enough to make him stop playing, and that's a pretty good indicator as to the quality of a game to me, with him at least. I've watched him hang up a lot of games after just a dozen hours or something. Like, nah, this is just this doo doo. I'm not playing this anymore. This is stupid. They didn't do X Y Z. This handles like butt. So that I mean that was a pretty one of the best reviews that he could ever possibly give is that he's still playing it after more than 12 hours or so.
yeah, yeah, I feel like well, yes, the game still has a few rough edges. Definitely early access game, but I feel like I've definitely gotten more than my money's worth of playtime with it.
Yeah. So do you? So I guess my question with regards to it, does it feel like it's going to be a okay? I've down the five bosses, and I'm done, and that's just like there's not really a whole lot of incentivization or like content to consume beyond that, or is it more like Minecraft, where like yeah, sure you can kill the Ender Dragon, but there's like heaps more that you can and often want to do in the game.
I think there will be more because I mean, so far the bosses have been close to where we spawned, and so at least most of us have not even explored more than 20% of the whole world.
Yeah, I hear those maps are fucking huge.
Yeah, they're big, and there's some crazy stuff that I want to see all the way at the south of the map. So I think even after the boss, there's still a lot more. exploring to do, I think. And especially if they keep adding content as they go to launch, then they'll be even better.
Right. Well, and it sounds like if all the bosses are predominantly consolidated relatively close to spawn, then they've got a lot of real estate left to work with in terms of adding additional content, and they don't have to worry about where am I going to put this content so it's not interfering with pre-existing content. They've got heaps of real estate to work with. My question with that, or the question that this makes me wonder because I never bothered to even look, is Valheim procedural or is it like a fixed map?
A fixed map.
Okay, I mean
It
that.
generates up of the seed the whole thing at once.
Wait, say that again.
Like it generates off of a seed, but it generates the whole world at once.
Okay, so in it is a fixed map. Like it's a fixed map, but it is random gen in that like your seed
Yes.
determines what your map looks like. So
Oh yes,
there is
yes.
replay
Every world will be
value.
different.
Okay, so there is replay value for like going to other worlds and taking down other bosses and stuff like that, or taking the bosses down again in another world, potentially rebuilding your. Almost got kind of a Terraria vibe about it in that regard. Because
Yeah.
isn't it like with Valheim? Don't you keep your inventory when you go between
Yes.
worlds?
So yeah, so anything that's on you, basically your character, you can jump between worlds and it's still your character with whatever you had on him.
Nice. Yeah, because that's how they did with Terraria, and there's a lot of reason in the game to go and do like generate additional worlds, not just like resource gathering, but that that obviously alleviates the penalties of a finite amount of resources in the map, but the to fight the bosses again, to raid the dungeon again, stuff like that, because you couldn't get enough mats that only came from those locations on a single pass. So there was a good reason to go and do these other things again on other worlds.
Yeah, and I have like my own little world where I do some building and some exploring, and I kind of use it more as a just building, crazy stuff. But then
Mm-hmm.
I can just jump in with that same character and my same stuff to the online server and play with others. It's pretty. So I think one of the things I like most about it.
Yeah, that's I mean that's really good, and not having to have multiple characters because if I remember correctly, it's a skill based system where like using your abilities is what levels them up.
Yeah, so hitting something with a sword raises your sword skill, and more the higher skill you get, the harder you hit with the swords, and you keep that from world to world, which is great.
Yeah, because that was the thing I also really liked about Terraria is if I was gonna get together and play with folks, I didn't have to worry about like starting completely over because I need to have a character in this server to play with, and it's just like anytime you're unable to move all of your stuff around, it's like kind of a feels bad. Hmm. How's the with regards to you were saying you were building stuff in your server? How good is the actual like building and terrain manipulation compared to something like Minecraft that's notorious, for gargantuan builds and like heaps of terrain manipulation and such to achieve them?
Uh, it's really good. The biggest thing, of course, difference with something like Minecraft is that buildings and structures that do have certain physics to them. So if you don't support your things properly, things will fall down.
Oh, okay. So there you can't just make a giant glass ceiling over your world to protect from like something.
Right.
You have to if you're making a large structure, it has to have a sufficient amount of support columns and stuff like that.
Yeah, you'll have to support columns and support everything properly, or else things will fall down easily.
See, that's really cool. There was fuck, what was that game called? It was a total flop. Ended up being like borderline a scam and a vaporware by the end of it. Star something Starforge. Fuck. Man, Starforge had such potential. Same kind of thing where like um it had a very Minecraft a like building about it. Um, but you had to like pay attention to physics and stuff like that, and the game ended up just being a total shit show. Like it got released, but it didn't really get released. They released so they could say that they did release, and it was a total fucking scam. What a shit show. Fuck.
And I can still remember that one.
Man, I had high hopes for that game too, but that just reminded me of that because you were talking about how the physics-based structures
Yeah.
and such.
All
That
right. If
really cool thing about it.
you want to know about building, talk to Bagels. Bagels has been like going nuts with the building.
That does not surprise me. I seem to recall back in the old Minecraft server on Strats that he was a massive like builder nerd. Like that was his thing. He loved just like building crazy stuff. I don't have the attention span to build, but I somehow have the attention span to go out and explore for like 5 or 6 straight Minecraft days and then come back with an inventory full of shit and then just turn around and do the exact same thing over again. Huh. Yeah, it's cool. I'm actually like, I wish Valheim had come out at like a different time for me because right now it's just not what I'm looking for. But like a year ago, oh man, like last year during the lockdown and everything, when I was like between semesters, like all summer, holy piss! If something like Valheim had been available, I mean, I guess I sank all my hours into Warframe, but I when I was really game fickle last year, if Valheim had been an option, I could see myself getting lost in this pretty hard. At least for, a good several weeks until I
Uh,
exhausted all existing content and then just, bung it on the shelf until the next update comes out. Do you have they said anything about their roadmap at this point? As in
I
terms
have
of like
not seen anything about that. I haven't looked at it enough.
yeah, I'm
But
just go ahead.
no, I need to look at that because I don't know content wise what they're planning on releasing later.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like they did a pretty good job of having the core mechanics of the game in there, so all that they really need to do is add content. Which is like that's obviously preferable. Like you don't want your core mechanics being like fuckered and then you're trying to add content on top of that. Like that's kind of how Arc felt at release. Remember there were constantly like problems with just very simple things. It seemed like.
And this one I've been like, I'll do some building, and if I get bored of that, I'll just jump on a boat and then go explore and find more islands. And then if I get bored of that, I'll just go mine. So that there is different things where you can jump. I guess it helps my ADD that I can jump between different activities.
Yeah, and that those different activities are engaging and enjoyable
Yeah,
within the game. They're not just like boring, whatever. Also, speak of the building devil right here. Your ears must have been burning, man. We were just talking about you.
Going on?
Talking about Valheim at the moment. I hear you
Why,
are the master builder.
why aren't you playing it yet?
Cause I'm just not playing it. I don't know. I was just saying, like, if this had been last year, if this game had come out this time last year, I'd have been all over it. I was desperately looking for a game last year.
It's right up your street.
I know it's a little scary to be honest. I mean, I went and watched Precious play for a little while, and I mean, I've poked around, I've looked at it. It's one I'm keeping an eye on. I may at some point pick it up. Not in the near future right now. There,
Hey, what's up, Zach?
there are other things that have my attention and are vying for my time. So when it
there's
gets,
not enough waifus in here. There's no Viking waifus.
oh, you see, and that's a huge ding against it because Princess Connect has waifus at the yin yang. I have so many waifus in Princess Connect. Precious likes to really grind my gears about it sometimes when I'm playing, and she's just like, "You're spending more time with your waifus than you are with your wife," and it's just like, no, that's not what's happening. I'm playing a game. It just happens to be a waifu game. She likes to when I'll set up like I'll set up to run a mission, basically on loop a whole bunch of times, and I'm barely paying any attention to it. I'm just making sure that nothing goes horrifically wrong, and I'll be like on YouTube or on Reddit or something like that, and she'll be coming over and griefing me about it. Hell, the other day I was doing homework while I had it running. I was like, yeah, it looks like I'm spending a lot of time with the waifus, but it's like I'm letting them do their thing while I'm doing other stuff that I need to get done.
Hey, Zarek, I was just out here exploring and like gathering materials. I wasn't doing anything in particular. How did you even get out here so fast?
That's just how he do.
Stupid.
Like, I didn't even think I was anywhere near a portal.
But no, we gotta get maybe we can have Precious lobby to get off playing.
No, 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 no. My limited game budget I've already spent on other stuff, on other games. I had a couple of my buddies from high school talked me into picking up Escape from Tarkov. So my current gaming budget has been expended for the near future.
What is that Tarkov one about?
Um, Escape from Tarkov, which I don't have a picture of because I wasn't planning to talk about it, but here we are. Let me see if I can find a picture real fast. Basically, it's marketed, in my opinion, wrongly, um, pretty heavily as a what you calls it? What's the fucking term I'm looking for? Battle royale. It is not, in my opinion, a battle royale at all. Like, just not even remotely. I mean, like, there is like PvP. So I guess if that's your bar to entry, like, does it have PvP? Yes or no? Yes, it has PvP. Okay, well then it's a battle royale. It's like, but is it?
Battle Royale is a whole different category than PvP, though.
Yeah, exactly. So the way the game works is basically there are a number of maps, and they are fixed maps, but there are different maps, and you go on raids. And what that means is you take your character out, and you have you have like a hideout with a stash that you have like loot and stuff that you've brought back with you that you can choose to risk basically by taking it on raid. And you load into a map with some number of other players, and there are also some AI enemies. And you go through that map trying to loot what you can, kill who you can, and get to one of the multiple extraction points, which their locations are fixed, but which ones are available at any given time change. So you're never.
Yeah, it sounds like a few things I've played before over the years.
Yeah. And then the goal is to get out with whatever you feel safe going in with and risking and trying to get out with. So it's not really battle royale because you don't win for extracting. It's more. It's not like an MMO by any stretch, but it has some RPG elements to it. It has a similar system to Valheim where you know throwing grenades increases like your strength skill because you're throwing something. Using guns makes you better with those guns, things of that nature. It leans a lot more into the realism simulation side of things. It's not like Team Fortress 2 esque. It's closer to Arma in terms of the complexity of the systems and things like that. So like for example, there's no HUD display that tells you how much ammo you have in your magazine. You actually have to like hit a key, pull your magazine out, and your character will inspect it and be like, "Yeah, it's roughly half a magazine," for example. So it's really interesting that it's leaning into that realism aspect quite a bit. The It's a game that's been in development for several years. It just recently picked up a whole lot of popularity, which doesn't surprise me. I think a bunch of big Twitch streamers were streaming it late last year. Apparently, there was a big spike end of last year through January with new players picking up the game and such. But yeah, the whole goal is just to like go into a raid, loot what you're comfortable looting, fight who you're comfortable fighting, or run the fuck away from them, and try to extract with your goodies and rinse repeat. There's a number of NPC merchants that you can trade with that have quest systems. Um, Trading with them and doing their quests will increase your favor with them, which then increases I don't know if it modifies the amount that you can buy and sell from them for, or if it strictly just increases the quantity or quality of the things that they offer for sale, because you can make various sorts of in-game currency, which you can then use to barter with the or to trade with the different merchants. There's also an auction house-esque system for trading with players called the flea market, and then you're also managing your hideout, which if you create you build your aid station, for example, and then you can start crafting medical supplies for yourself for when you're out, because the body is broken down into several regions: torso, thorax, arms, legs, head. So you need to address different wounds differently depending on what ailments you suffer from. There's a lot to it. You're also, when on raid, you're managing hunger and thirst as well. So you have to make sure you've brought some rations with you, or you need to scavenge rations while you're out in order to not start losing health, things of that nature. It's a lot of fun. It does have multiplayer also, in terms of like going in with a group. You can squad up and go in with, I think, up to 5 players is what the co-op loading into raids is.
But you can do it solo though.
Yeah, you could do it solo, or you could squad up. There is also one thing that I appreciate as somebody who is brand new to the game. I just picked it up this weekend on my friend's recommendation and behest. You can play. You can load up the maps in offline mode. Doing that allows you to spend some time familiarizing yourself with the map, because there's no in-game map. You can't just be like, pull up a map and see like a little dot as to where you are. You actually have to learn the maps. So there's a surprising amount of depth. And in terms of the realism and depth, the weapons, my God, man, you have to you're dealing with like your basic weapon, customization that you'd expect: sights, grips, stuff like that. Type of magazine, whether you're doing, a short stack or like a drum mag, stuff like that. You also have to concern yourself with the type of ammunition that you want to use. So it becomes, and everything is like limited supply. It's based on what you have. So you have to find bullets. If you're shooting a lot of bullets, you have to be finding bullets, or you have to be crafting them from stuff that you have acquired, or you need to be buying them from the merchant or from other players, which means you have to be extracting with things that are valuable either to the merchant or other players, so that you have currency to do those trades with. It's a really interesting depth of pseudo simulation, and the gunplay seems pretty good. I haven't played a whole lot of it yet. I literally just picked it up yesterday. I'm still messing around with it. I'm trying to decide which map I'm going to spend the effort and energy to learn first, and I was going to do that a little bit this afternoon, but of course, apparently this afternoon is when the servers went down for maintenance.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Of course, the game that you want to play goes down for maintenance on the day you want to play it.
Oh, I was gonna ask you: is Austin having another power outage?
To my knowledge, no, but I'm not in Austin.
Because the Austin peeps who are usually on Valheim have not been on for several days.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. Weather's been pretty good. I mean, we have a front in here right now, but it's nothing like what we had been dealing with. It's possible, at least with regards to Weedham's, it's possible that something came up with the semester, because I mean, I think he's still in classes also. I think he's taking classes this semester, so he may have just had a bunch of shit he had to deal with this weekend. I'm not 100% on that. But as far as I know, no, there's nothing crazy going on in the state regarding power, except for we've got utility companies, or utility providers, I should say, filing for bankruptcy because they owe close to $2 billion.
Yeah, I saw that. That's a bit insane.
Yeah, the whole power grid situation here, man. What a shit show. Holy crap.
We will learn nothing from it.
Say again?
And we will learn nothing from it.
Oh, for sure. We won't learn a damn thing, because I don't even want to get into it. Goodness gracious.
Okay.
It's frustrating. Just trust me when I say I'm as frustrated as you are. And if you're not frustrated, that's fine. I'll be frustrated for you. I've got plenty to go around. Golly. Yeah, it sure is something, all right. Tarkov, pretty interesting game. Um, it's not cheap. That's one thing I will say. Like it does apparently periodically go on sale, but it was just on sale in January, like early mid January, which is before my buddies had picked it up and hit me up about it. So just the base entry cost of the game, really the higher tiers of packages that you can buy. The only one that's maybe worth it at some point would be the uppermost package because it's basically the yo dog, we appreciate you, throwing in the big bones. So any and all future DLC and such is yours if you buy like the big kid package. And the big kid package is still cost less than half of what the big kid package for Fortnite cost, for example. So
Yeah, when you start getting into games where they have packages and shit like that, they can fuck off.
yeah, I mean the idea is to give you so like the things they're doing with it, the game's never intended to be free to play. And there's not like any kind of loot box system or anything like that.
Oh, so there's not like a uh, like different. I don't know what I'm trying to say. If you buy the game, you get the whole game.
Yeah, you get the whole game. So what the bigger packages do basically is they give you more starting gear, like more gear available to you at the beginning of game, which is like that's fine. Thanks for the free starting gear, except if I get killed, I could lose any or all of it. So did it fucking matter that I had all this fancy starting gear? Because as a newer player, you're probably gonna fuck up and die. Let's be real. Um, the big the two big things that it upgrade or that it does, you have a stash in your hideout, and the starting size of your stash is bigger depending on which package you have. So just you have room to store more things out of raid. So as you start like successfully completing raids and coming back with actual loot, you have somewhere to put that. And then obviously the uppermost tier, which again is still less than half of what like the big kid tier of Fortnite costs when they were doing that, um, is obviously the largest stash, and then the guarantee that like or the promise that they'll give you all the DLCs in the future if there are any stuff like that. Right now, it's technically an early access game, and they have said they plan to release it on Steam when it actually like is ready for release. But right now, they have their own launcher and they're selling it through their website, which I think is probably the best bet because I know Steam does take a cut. It's not like a bananas cut, but they're taking a cut. And if you're needing the money from game sales to fund active development, I can understand if you have a distribution system available that you want to keep as much of that in house as you can.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I mean, their servers seem rock solid. I downloaded the game. It wasn't, I wasn't getting Steam speeds on my fiber connection, but I got a really solid download speed. I was down like at over 50 megs a second. So they have rock solid server infrastructure for sure. And the other thing I really like about it, man, I just should have left a picture up. We're still talking about it. Dadgum. The other thing that's really interesting. So there are AI characters in the AI enemies in the all the raids as well. I don't know what the cooldown is, but every once in a while or periodically, you can actually load in as an AI character. So you load in with whatever their gear is, and just like spawn later into the raid, so you're not like spawning at the same time all the players that are playing normally are. You spawn later, and you spawn as an AI, and you take over, that entity. So you can't always be certain that an AI looking character is actually an AI once the raid is kind of underway. You have to like show it a little bit of respect. And the other nice thing there
Right.
is it's an interesting system because the AI character is randomly kitted out. Um, if you extract whatever you extract with that AI character, you get to keep whatever you loot as well as whatever they had on them. So even if you get into a situation where you have just somehow lost all of your shit because you're just terabad and you took all your good shit out at the same time and just died, like just spam died, you can still get a somewhat geared character for free, basically. random. You don't have any say in what it's going to be on it, but you can get a pseudo geared character and not have to go in, essentially naked, trying to find loot and kill people with, a knife, or maybe even not even a knife. So I like that there's a bit of a fail safe in that regard.
Right.
I've also heard it's a really good way to go to, like, without risk, learn the maps. Like when you're learning a new map, one of the recommendations I saw for newer players is to really just like use that AI character called a scav. Um, Scavenger, I assume is what it's short for. To just use that in order to not have as much risk. You have basically no risk while trying to learn how the maps are laid out, because map knowledge becomes very critical since there is no in-game map. But yeah, I'll have a better assessment by next week regarding it. I've got a pretty light week schoolwork wise, so I'll probably log a good couple dozen hours, I hope, before next week.
Yeah, maybe you catch some footage of it at some point.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, actually supported by GeForce Experience, so anything super crazy that happens, I might even pop in a night or two and just stream it for anybody who wants to have a look see. Although the Discord streaming for it was really weird. I couldn't get it to, the Discord wouldn't recognize the game for some reason. So I didn't bother like trying to force it to recognize the game. So instead, I just like streamed my screen, which is less efficient, but it worked well enough, I suppose. It just doesn't do audio. Yeah, it's an interesting game. I'm cautiously optimistic based on my friend's raving review and my minimal experience I've had so far. I'm cautiously optimistic. It reminds me a lot of another game that I played. Speaking of scam games, we were talking about fucking Starforge previously. Fucking sadness. I played another game that this reminds me a lot of called The War Z. That was.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
God, what a shit show that game was. But for like the first few weeks that it was out, before it came out that it was like very obviously a super big scam. I mean, there were some red flags in hindsight that had I seen them, I would have been like, this is bad. Maybe I shouldn't play this game. Maybe I shouldn't give them any money. I didn't know about those flags until it was too late and I was already in. But it reminds me a lot of that game, and I had a lot of fun with that game before it turned into like a hacker scam fest, and then just like vaporwared away. So that was the really, like, remembering the fun I had with that game is what pushed me over the edge to give this one a try. That was the real deciding factor. Even though like I had a couple of high school buddies that wanted to play it, I was kind of like, I don't know, man. Like I don't know if I have time, want, or need for a new game. Everybody's trying to get me to play Eve. Everyone wants me to play Valheim. I need to like clone myself 4 times so I can play all the different games that everybody wants me to play. Ain't nobody got time for that. Many waifu games to play. Well, just the one waifu game actually.
Yeah, I saw Kitty picked up Valheim, but I only saw her on it the once.
Yeah, she's played a little bit. It tweaks her eyes. Some of the effects, and there's really not a good lot of graphic settings at the moment, which is a shame.
I noticed like the some of the particle effects even strain my eyes, and I can't turn them off.
Yeah, the little like your skill leveled up firefly effect is pretty intense for her.
Even like when you break a tree, it creates a puff of particle effects.
Yeah. Oh, and the fucking God, I saw the fog. Holy shit, is the fog
that's
weather
something
intense.
Like I would email the devs and be like, "Look, I'm partially visually disabled, and this is a problem," and see if they'll do something about it.
Yeah, it's just like, can we just give us the settings? That's all we need. We just need.
Because I mean, it is something that they probably just have not considered.
I don't know if it's necessarily that. It may be a thing where, because it's still very obviously early release, it may just be a thing where they don't have the option settings for that, or it might be a specific. I've seen this argument made, and I don't. It's not my art, so to speak. So maybe it's not fair of me to judge it, but when they say things like that's the atmosphere we want, or that's the artistic direction we're taking, it's like, well, that's cool, but like can you just like let me enjoy your game without being forced into this? I don't know.
Hang on a second, I got to
Yep. So I don't know. It's an interesting game. Valheim. It's one of the ones that I'm kind of keeping an eye on. I have 3 other games though that I'm like very hyped for this year. That I am, well, 2.5, two and a question mark that I'm very hyped for this year. So we will see how those go and how Valheim updates go, and what my time looks like following the this semester if I have time, money, etc.
Okay.
Play all the games. Mm-mm. Yeah. Oh. Also, I pulled this because this got me super hyped. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? So Zarek, you played Magic, right? Back in the day?
What?
Didn't you play Magic back in the day?
All right, I'm back.
Welcome
I
back.
played some, but not like.
Who was it that played Magic? Somebody used to play a lot of Magic. I don't remember who I was talking to about it. I thought it might have been you. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? No, no, no. No, no, no. Ah, yes. Warhammer 40k Commander decks for Magic the Gathering. I'm fucking hyped. When they were initially talking about this new Universes Beyond that they're doing, where other IPs like Lord of the Rings and such are going to get incorporated into some standalone Magic the Gathering product, and Warhammer 40k was one of the ones they announced. I was initially on hearing about it kind of like, how, like, is this gonna be like an unglued type thing? But when they said 40k Commander decks and they put an S at the end of decks, which means there's gonna be more than one, it's fucking hype. I was talking
Like digital decks or actual decks?
no, like physical actual cards, like physical actual cards for sale. Hype. I'm so hype. My body is ready. I
You got the budget for that shit?
Nope, not even a little bit. But I got a friend who does. I had a friend who I can absolutely. I got a friend who's really into Commander, Saint Heretic. He's around here sometimes. He's playing a lot of WoW Classic right now, though. We don't play WoW Classic because, well, everybody who wanted to play WoW Classic played it previously. Now I'm just joshing. You can play WoW Classic if you want. Play whatever game you want. Doesn't matter to me. But he's big into Commander, and he has a habit of picking up whenever a really interesting or new Commander set comes out. It's not uncommon for him to pick up all of the decks, just like buy one of each, and then we just like have game night at his place. So that will probably be what happens if they happen to release a deck that I'm super hype on. I can scrounge up the 30 or $40 it'll end up costing. If there's one that I'm just like super hype on, I could probably scrounge it up. Just to have it as a collection piece. They really do enjoy the Commander format.
I would pick up some of the Lord of the Rings stuff just like for collection's sake.
Yeah, I mean, it's clever. It's not a dumb move. To like just Magic is a highly collectible thing. I didn't even know they did a Walking Dead standalone product recently. I had never even heard of that until I was reading this blog post about some of the other stuff they did. There's going to be some Godzilla shit, Lord of the Rings, Warhammer 40k. I don't know if they've talked about any other stuff yet.
Unless the scalpers go nuts with it like they did with freaking Pokemon trade card game right now.
There will probably be some of that, but I don't know if it'll be as intense as that, because like the Twitch community really shined the light on Pokemon, and like some of the Twitch and YouTubers deciding that they were really into like opening this like nostalgic shit is what really drove those prices up and like pulled the scalpers' attention. Something like this, I don't imagine it's going to be something that we're going to see a big price drive on. This is more likely what I'm more concerned about, honestly, is people ferreting it away from a collection standpoint, looking for like the increased valuation on it as a collectible item, because that is something that does happen with Magic the Gathering product. Anything that might be profitable, there's a whole group out there that treats it as a physical investment item. If you've not ever looked at the Alpha Investments YouTube channel, a really good place to start to see just how intense some people are about it. It's really cool, like, way to enjoy the product, but the downside is it takes product, like it makes product less available for just like a regular consumer who wants to actually play with it and enjoy it. Now, I mean, generally speaking, they're collecting the older stuff, but this kind of limited run stuff is a highly sought after collectible thing. It will be fuck expensive at some point. The good thing, though, or the good news with, they're saying it's going to be available anywhere that they currently sell commander decks. I mean, that's like big box stores as well. So that doesn't sound like it's going to be a super limited run. Like, there should be a fairly decent amount available out there. So fingers crossed it won't be too hard to get a hold of for anybody who wants to get a hold of it.
Yeah.
Present company included.
Doesn't say when this will be coming out.
I didn't see a date anywhere, and they haven't really talked about. They've just said the Lord of the Rings product. So not 100% sure what that's going to be. They've basically retconned the Walking Dead stuff as part of Universes Beyond. Like, there's, I guess, the success that the Walking Dead stuff had, which I never even heard of. Like I said, didn't even hear about it. I guess the success there led them to want to do make an entire category for this sort of material, which I think is really clever. I mean, if there's one thing WotC has figured out how to do, it's print money with Magic the Gathering. Jesus. So, like I said, I'm hyped. I'm pretty hyped. I was initially pretty skeptic because the thing I read about it made it sound more like it was going to be a limited, like, set of cards, not that it was going to be like commander decks. So finding this blog talking that it was going to be specifically commander decks, that made me a lot happier than what it initially was looking to be. Holy crap.
You buy Bedzert?
ZZZZZ, he's trying to sleep and make a day. So it works just like in Minecraft. Sleep for day. Nice. Alright, well, they're going to bed in-game. And it's time to put the stream to bed in real life. It's damn near 9 o'clock. Bagels, Zarek, thanks for coming out and hanging out. People who watch the VOD after the fact, appreciate you guys for watching it. This has been your Strats Weekly for 1 March 2021. We'll see y'all next week. Take it easy.